motherfuckers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
General Blaine Holt joins us once again, the man who has been guiding us through this whole Iran war stuff. And I guess it's back on. We're bombing like crazy. General Holt, welcome back. How are you? And, oh boy, here we go again. But I guess it's necessary. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yes, it's absolutely necessary. And everything that we're seeing is, in fact, progress. We are hitting and weakening the final vestiges of what is the IRGC's ability to basically fire at anything. But in doing so, we're weakening them to the point where a revolution is going to come on. I looked at the imagery over the weekend of the IRGC headquarters, which is a skyscraper in Tehran, just torched up like a light, and it just sends a visual message to all of the Iranians who are organizing into guerrilla groups right now, and the Kurdish are moving right now. This is the time. This is the time. And President Trump is going to get this across the line. There is no way to negotiate our way out of this anymore.
Wow. All right. So let me ask you something. Why didn't we take out this headquarters like, day one? Why did we wait? Well,
President Trump has put himself into a very good position with his patience, because he has exposed to the world, not only has he tried to do everything to avoid violence and death by providing every available off-ramp and a very clear objective with Iran, meaning no nuclear weapons. But then, this is what the scorpion does. You negotiate with a scorpion, and at the end of the day, there's still a scorpion. And so they can't hold to any negotiations. They show how duplicitous and disingenuous they were during the funeral, and he's now exposed all of that. So there's no one who can say that, A, there's any rational actor in Iran to deal with, and B, that we haven't done everything we can to avoid war.
The funeral for Ayatollah Khamenei, and by the way, they certainly waited long enough. What was disingenuous? What did they do that exposed themselves with the funeral?
Yeah, so we need some time for the funeral of our dear leader. Okay, take the time. What do? They roll in Farsi and English red banners all over the ceremony that says, "We will kill you, Trump." Well, if you're in some sort of negotiation with somebody, it's probably not a really great tactic to say, "By the way, I'm going to kill you." And so it really does. They put that out there not because they're worried about blowing up negotiations with Trump. They put that out there because they're terrified that a revolution is about to take them over, and they're trying to project strength to their people. But they're nothing more than a thin piece of rice paper now. And the Iranian people are onto this. It doesn't matter. They're going to keep up the propaganda machine for as long as they can.
It's fascinating. One thing also, I see these panel shows, CNN and the rest, and they keep saying that our side, that we, America, are negotiators, we're misreading them. They only understand force. You can't believe anything they say. What they say in private is a lie. What they say in public is true. And that all may be true. But, we are still the United States of America. And when we sit down at a negotiating table, there is something known as good faith efforts. I don't like this idea that we are supposed to contort ourselves culturally, even morally, to how the enemy approaches this stuff. I mean, that's their problem and that's their way. We are meeting them. We met them halfway, or however far you want to say we met them. We're not going to throw out who we are and how we act to appease or to mollify or to somehow impress these barbarians. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But the thing that so many civilian and military commentators and analysts are getting wrong is they're making very poor assumptions about President Trump. If they see a blockade and a ceasefire and no weapons in the air, then what they assume is that the president doesn't have any designs on tearing up the IRGC and making them go away, or that there's not to be bombs in the future. And I've seen four-star generals scream and yell, he's got to get back on the gas. He's got to go throw the weapons at him. And it's like he's in a carefully orchestrated strategy right now that's got a tempo, milestones, timing to it. And he's not panicking. He's extremely confident. And we're moving through the paces. And the paces will leave us with a place where there's no nuclear weapons, that there's a revolution, that the Iranian people take back their own nation, that there's no 130,000 American occupation force there, that the oil and the markets will flow again, and that nobody can say we didn't give them every chance to right themselves. Nobody can say we didn't extend every possible way to avoid this war.
What about this Guardian of the Middle East? He was on Fox and Friends. He's talking about Guardian and talking about making money from the oil. Is this, I'm not saying it's not real. Is this bargaining? Is this posturing? Or is this what he's been talking about for decades, which is, we are going to, and we should, because we have the power, we have the force, we're carrying a big load here. We're going to make some money off of the oil.
We're going to cover our costs or a portion of our costs as much as we can. And I like to talk about tariffs. I like about, we're not going to let Lloyd's of London and the City of London dictate terms through their proxies in the Middle East about how the economics will work in the Middle East. They've been doing that for over a century, and all it's led to is endless wars. What President Trump is saying is if we're going to get after these things, and Europe's not only going to not lift a finger, but they're going to try to block us, well, then we'll be the ones who benefit from this. You go to war. You risk everything. You're risking life and limb. Wouldn't it be great to honor our soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen when they're coming home saying, we got something for our country in our lands? And I think that that's absolutely the case. Instead of going and, here, we liberated your country for you and it only cost us 5,000 lives. I hope you're happy. That's crap. If we have to go deal with something militarily, well, then we ought to get something back for it.
Have you ever met Lindsey Graham? Did you ever meet Lindsey?
Oh, yes, I have.
Tell us your thoughts, please.
I will pray for his family, who is obviously grieving right now, and I'll wish them well. And it's always unfortunate when anybody's life gets curtailed. Full disclosure, Lindsey and I had a very tough relationship, and it went on in very different aspects of it. And, you've talked to me enough, Greg, to know that we're principally very opposed on certain issues. But I'm never going to do anything other than say he served his country, he served his nation, and we wish his family well.
Oh, boy. These guys. Well, class act, class move. The classy move there, General. I understand. He could be very, very... Well, let's face it, there are some ups and downs, but we'll leave it at that for now. Lindsey Graham. I must say, though, that Kavanaugh moment was really something. That was a beaut, coming to defend that guy. Hey, and one other thing I think you will like about him is he didn't seem to make a lot of money in Washington. He lived in did you see that house he lived in? I mean, It was... I don't know, man. I mean, if he moves out and nobody buys it right away, I think some crack dealers are going to move in. It looked pretty sketchy, actually, pretty sketchy. General Holt, this bombing. Oh, did you see the new drones? Are those new drones? CENTCOM put out these drones. Tell us about these drones that we are using. We are using drones.
Yep, it's actually just a great move to get the footage of us using that drone. That's not the weapon we had to select. It's probably not the most efficient weapon to go kill that sub bay. But I think the name of the company is Saronic, and I think it's their Corsair drone. But the reason that that's so important is we need to send a message of deterrence to all these other actors around the world, including the IRGC, saying, we're on step with this drone technology. Don't listen to the hype. We know what we're doing, and our science is better than anybody's. And yes, we can tag you with the drone. We can tag you from space. We can tag you with an electromagnetic frequency. We can tag you with microwaves. Nobody's got better science than we do. Don't listen to anybody else. And to demonstrate in combat how that works, brilliant. It sends a good, strong message that underestimating the United States is really a dangerous endeavor.
Beautiful. Well, General Blaine Holt, to be continued, sir. Thank you for your wisdom in guiding us through all of this stuff, okay?
Thank you for the time. Appreciate you.